Hello, it's Gem Games here once again, and in this video we are going to add some shell ejection to our weapon. So when we shoot, the weapon will eject some shells from the side. So yeah, let's get started. First we want to go to the weapon struct and to the structure, and we want to add a variable. This will be called eject shell, and it will be type boolean because we don't want all our weapons to be ejecting shells. Okay, let's add another variable. This will be called shell emitter, or actually let's call it shell particle, because we have already called this particle here. Okay, so let's change this type to be particle system object reference. Save. Let's close. Now what we want to do, we want to go to our weapon skeleton. So let's go to the weapon, military weapon dark. And weapons, and here first let's do that for the pistol. So pistol B skeleton, let's open it. Now here on the pistol B skeleton, let's add a socket to the root bone. Let's call this shell. Okay, and let's press W and let's move it to around here, I think. Okay, and you want to make the X, the red arrow, face to the barrel of the weapon, and the green to the right, like this. Okay, now we can save, we can close this. Now let's go to the blueprints folder, and we have this effects folder here. Let's open it. Let's right click and create a, move our mouse up here and search for cascade particle system legacy. Let's call this P shell pistol, something like that. Let's open it. Now here what we want to do, first we want to right click and add a go to the type data, and we want to add a new mesh data. Let's click on that. Let's change this mesh to be, let's search for 9mm, and we should have this SM shell 9mm empty. And here, the next thing what we want to do is we want to go a little bit down to the orientation, and let's open the roll pitch yaw range. Let's change it distribution vector constant. Okay, and let's leave the x to be 0, y to be 0, and z to be minus 90. Okay. The next thing, what we want to do, we want to click on the required here. Here what we want to do, we want to first check that we are using the local space. So make sure that you click on the local space. Then when we go down, do we have something else here? No, we don't actually have anything else here. Okay. Yeah, we don't have to. Oh, here, emitter loops. We'll set it to 1. Okay. So it only plays one time. Now let's go to the lifetime. Here in the lifetime, let's change this to be distribution float constant, so it's only one value. Let's make it 0.5. Now let's go to the initial size. Here in the initial size, we want to change this also to be distribution vector constant, and let's make all these 1, 1, 1. And we want to lock this on all axes, so X, Y, and Z. Okay. And the next thing is here on the initial velocity. Let's open the start velocity, distribution. We want to set these values to be, let's set first the X to 0, max and min to 0, like this. And the Y, let's set it to like 300 and 300. So I will show you how this works later on. And the set maybe like 150 and 50. We will adjust this later. And do we have to change something else? No, we don't actually. Then the color over live, let's click on that and press delete. Then let's right click and let's search for constant acceleration. Let's click on that. Here let's add just -500 on the set. This will be the gravity basically. Let's right click and let's search for a init mesh rotation. And here on the init mesh rotation, let's open the start rotation distribution. We want to set, actually let's set all these to be 0 at first. Let's change this soon. And also let's add a init mesh rotation rate. Here let's set all these to be 0 also for now. And then what we have to do is, actually I remembered one thing. We have to go back to the spawn for a little second. Here on the burst list we have to add a list, otherwise we cannot spawn this meter. Let's open it and let's make the count 1 and low count 1. Now it will always spawn 1 emitter. Actually, sorry, we still have here constant set 20. Let's set it also to be 0, like that. Now let's save. Let's close this. And now we want to go to the PP first person character. Now first we want to get to the set, go to the set weapon stats, and we want to get these new variables from here. Weapon data eject shell. And we want to promote it to a variable. And after that we want to promote this particle to a variable. Now let's connect this back to, oh, we have to add a pin, so 10.4, and let's connect it there. Now we have these two new variables. Let's start with the weapon data shell ejection. We have to compile, and let's add it to category weapon stats. Now let's scroll down, weapon data shell particle, and let's add it to category weapon stats, like that. Compile. Fuck. Okay, my engine crashed. I hope I didn't lose anything. Okay, I only did lose this. So I will quickly do it again. Okay, I am back where we were. So now let's compile, save all, and let's create a new function. Function will be called eject shell. And now what we want to do here is we want to first get the weapon data shell eject, and we want to add a branch. We want to check if we want to actually eject a shell. Then we want to spawn emitter attached on the true. And now we want to get our weapon data shell particle. Let's connect the emitter template. And attach point name is the shell that we created. And attach component is the weapon mesh. Like this. And now we want to change the location type to snap to target, including scale. Now when we compile, we save, we go to the first person map, open the weapon data table, and we set the pistol to eject shell, and set the shell particle to be the pistol, shell pistol. Let's save, let's close, let's go to the first person map, let's play. Now it should work. And it is not working. And the reason is we forgot to call the function. So here on the event graph, on the recoil, where we play the animation, let's move this play animation a little bit further left, and this set play rate a little bit more right. Let's call this function here, eject shell. Okay, let's compile, and let's save all. Let's quickly just double check that everything works. So let's go back to the P shell pistol. So here on the mesh data, everything correctly. We only have to set the orientation. Lifetime, spawn. We have all. Okay, we might not want to use this here. Apply global spawn rate scale. It shouldn't matter, but let's make it false. So you want to use the same values. Here in the burst list, you want to have count 1 and 1. That is very important. And 0 here on the right. Okay. If they are not correct, your the particle will not spawn. Okay, now let's go to the required. And use local space is also important. Emitter loops 1 time, emitter duration 1, and yes, these should be correct. So let's save all. Let's go to the first person map. Let's play. And now it should work. You can see it is working. But now you can also see that the shell doesn't have any random movement in it, nor anything like rotation or anything like that. So let's fix that. So those were the values that I was talking when we created this. So for example, here on the initial velocity, what we can do. Actually, let's do the initial mesh rotation first. So initial mesh rotation, let's set this y to be 0.15 on the max and z to be 0.15 on the max. Y to be 0.5 on the mean and 0.5 on 0.05 on the set mini, like that. Now it will have some random rotation when it spawns from the weapon. Okay, now this will make it spin through when it's flying, basically. So what we want to do here, we don't want to touch the x. We want to set the y to be 5, x to be 5, and min to be like 3 and 3, something like that. So now when we play, save and play, we can see it will have some random spinning. and it will already look a lot better. But let's add some random velocity basically. So let's go to the initial velocity, and here in the initial velocity we want to let's set the x to be like -100. This is basically makes it come towards us a little bit. Okay, and sorry, -100 here, and max is -150, something like that. And then let's make it 300 and like 200, and on this, this will make it fly right, basically, from the weapon, and that is, of course, the upwards axis, so it will make it go upwards a little bit. So let's make it from 150 to 75, or from 75 to 150. So now, when we save all and play, it should look a lot better already. It has some randomness, like. And you can obviously add more randomness if you want, but at least for me, this is already looking a lot better. So, on the next episode, we will actually do the same thing for all the other weapons, and we will add some custom, not like custom, but like other shell ejection particles also for the assault rifles and the shotgun and other weapons like that, you know. So, on the next episode, we will actually create a different kind of shell particles for the AR and to the shotgun and to the SMG and stuff like that, and add them to all the other weapons that we have right now on the game. But yeah, I actually think that was all for this video. If you like what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you in the next one. Bye.